The business has almost run out of cash 3 times over 8 years. We got shut down at our 12-ounce supplier. There was a real chance that we were going to zero. I was at the University of Nevada in Reno. It was my last year coaching. I Googled beverage formulation. That was April of 2017. I had a light bulb moment. I said, hold on, can we take lemon water and make it taste good? I came up with the idea and went for it. We've sold 142 million bottles to date. We have raised over $100 million. We have 410 investors. Beyonce was an organic inbound. We're not going to build $1 billion business. We're going to build one that's much bigger than that.
Yanni, thanks, brother, for taking some time in your busy entrepreneur road schedule to hop on with us today, man. This means a lot.
Listen, thank you so much for having me on. I'm thrilled to be here.
I appreciate you, brother. And look, I'm excited about this one because you're an entrepreneur. It's not easy being an entrepreneur, but more importantly, you have a really incredible backstory or history as an assistant basketball coach. And one of your stops was at my alma mater at the University of Nevada. So we've got that in common, which is really cool. But the transition from sports into business is a common one. It doesn't always necessarily guarantee any sort of success, but in your case, I think it certainly has played true. What can you tell us about how the background in sports and coaching and affecting change in people has come forward or parlayed into your business as an entrepreneur and a founder?
Look, I think it starts with just being hyper competitive, right? Like when you're coaching college basketball, there's a scoreboard, right? You play anywhere from 31 times a year to 40 times a year in college basketball. And every time you pitch it up, you win or you lose, right? You're either walking off the floor with a W or you've taken one on the chin and you know, building a beverage business or just anything in the world of being an entrepreneur is usually, about posting numbers to the scoreboard, right? We're measured largely by, how many bottles we sell and what's our revenue, right? And in basketball, it's, do you have more points than the other team at the end of the day, right? So how do you get there? But I think it starts with just having a hyper competitive drive and a will to win. Understanding how hard it is, to be the last team standing, to cut down the nets, and then just being able to understand the work ethic that it takes, right? Most college basketball coaches are relentless workers. I was around head coaches that were. And so when you go build this thing, it's even more personal, right? I've got my entire life riding on the success of Lemon Perfect in a lot of ways. And so, it's just a deal where no one's going to outwork me. I mean, I'm on day 47 now out of the last 55 on the road, right? Here sitting in a hotel room in Los Angeles, and I'm a little beaten down and tired, but man, I got this podcast that I'm really juiced up about and going to do everything I can to bring the elite level of energy. And then I got 4 more today, not podcasts, but meetings, and then an event tonight. And, that's when you're the face of the brand. I mean, you got to bring it, all day, every day. And then I guess when I'm behind the door here, when I close my eyes, I get to have a little time, but yeah, it just ties back to just being hyper competitive, and understanding that at the end of the day, we're really all measured by a scoreboard, and then the ability to coach your team, build a team, hire great personnel, is a big part of it too. But, the last thing I'll say is when people ask me, hey, how'd you do it? How you guys are doing great. And, I tell them, if you want to go start something, go back and coach college basketball for 10 years and then come back to me. So I say that somewhat tongue in cheek, but it was a great kind of incubator of being an entrepreneur.
Amazing, man. And look, you talked about the energy that you got to bring and that, what's required of an entrepreneur and being relentless. I mean, that's the essence of this show, right? It's called the Let's Fucking Go podcast, right? Like, so that you're right on brand with it. And I love your energy and just spark for everything. It seems like, man, not just entrepreneurship. Can you walk us through that light bulb moment when you realized that lemon water needed a better version? Because that's the essence of your
Yeah.
company, right? And you committed to making Lemon Perfect happen. But was
Yeah.
there a light bulb moment, or how did this all come to be?
Yeah, there was. I didn't know that you could curse on this thing. This is going to be this is the podcast of my dreams. Most college basketball coaches are unfiltered, and
Please,
it
please
is
be
it is
yourself.
nice. It is nice to be able to speak freely. But no, look, the short story is as you mentioned. I was at the University of Nevada in Reno. It was my last year coaching because I came up with the idea and went for it. The short story is a friend of mine, while I was coaching at Nevada, wrote a book on the ketogenic diet. Okay.
Mhm.
And in early 2017, it was right before keto had its moment, certainly in the psychology of the natural channel shopper. It made its mainstream appearance for a very brief moment in time. That's not that important. What is that in the back of Matt's book were all these sample meal plans. And every day started by drinking organic lemon water. We are dear friends, but I was getting my ass kicked by Coach Musselman. I mean, we worked hard. And he was incredibly demanding of excellence in everything that you did as an assistant. So, I needed some structure in my day. I needed a diet plan. I needed a training program. And I said, Matt, I'm in A through Z. Let's go. And lemon water in the morning just became a part of my routine. And I hated it. I mean, it sucks. Buy organic lemons, cut the lemon, squeeze the lemon, juice all over, bland taste. So many mornings you just throw your hands up in there. You're like, fuck, this sucks, right? And I stuck with it. I guess this is the path of destiny. Coach Musselman's wife, Danielle, her sister was on the field marketing team at Buy. And now they're one of our biggest competitors. We think about trying to put them to sleep every day. But in 2017, it was at the very height of their growth story. We were drinking the product around the office, obviously. 1 gram of sugar, good flavor, very innovative product. And I'm in the locker room towards the end of our season, and I had a light bulb moment. I said, hold on. Can we take lemon water and make it taste good? That was the seed of the journey. And the season ended. We lost to Iowa State in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
I remember.
I'm in Santa Monica having lunch with a friend of mine who invests in early stage food and beverage businesses. And John says, I love this idea. He says, anything that you can build that can capture a piece of someone's daily routine, what they do in the morning when they first get up, what they do at night when they go to sleep, or any point in between is worth going for. Like, you can build a business around that, a consumer business around that. Because remember, all I knew was lemon water in the morning. So I jumped up and said, my God, John, I think I've got it. We're going to go build the morning drink. And we went to Whole Foods in Venice. We got a bunch of stevia and erythritol and monk fruit. We start playing around with it on his dining room table. And it wasn't great, but it was better than what I was doing. I liked the sweetness profile. And that night from John's couch, I Googled beverage formulation. That was April of 2017. We have had some incredible highs and many more unimaginable lows, near knockout blows. But here we are, and we've sold 142 million bottles to date, and feel like we are really just getting started. So it has been an incredible journey over the last 8 years now.
I love it. And you know what, real quick, I want to ask you, because in that space, and it's a crowded space, right? People that are putting together products that combine flavor and good ingredients and no sugar, but then you find out there's a bunch of other bad crap. Like, how do you balance taste appeal with like functional wellness and benefits of functional wellness? Like, how do people do it and do it right? Because there's so many products. Everyone's into anti-aging and living longer and having more energy and do this and do that. And there's so many products that are out there. And you and I both know, I mean, you know way better than anyone, most of them are filled with all kinds of other crap that aren't going to help you out or maybe give you cancer later or make your hair fall out, man. Like, how did you strike that perfect balance?
Look, for me, taste always finds an audience. That's been, a huge driver of everything that I believe in when it comes to building a beverage brand, is that you have to win on taste. unless an item is highly functional, right? Like an immunity shot, for instance, perhaps. But you're never, Arjun, you're never going to build $1 billion brand if it is not insanely craveable from a taste perspective, right? That is there is nothing more important. So I always start with prioritizing taste, and then function is right there, right? So with Lemon Perfect, there is nothing that delivers our taste experience, right? Delicious, refreshing, with the nutritional deck that we have as well, right? Zero sugar, 100% vitamin C. There's half a squeezed organic lemon in every bottle. So this marriage is unparalleled, right? It is taste plus function, and we're doing it all with zero sugar. And so, for me, um, that is, fundamentally, with products, if you want to build something really, really big, if you want to have $1 billion outcome, if you want to change the way that America and eventually beyond drinks beverage, it has to taste really good. And then you've got to back it up with, especially as consumers, become more and more cognizant of what they're putting in their bodies.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to deliver on it all, and we certainly have. And that's been my thesis from second one of this
And
journey.
let me ask you this too, real fast, Yanni, for our audience. The main just bullet points, high level benefits of why human beings need lemon water are?
Well, Lemon Perfect starts because, drinking water is boring, and we're delivering, that need for hydration in a much more joyful and fun way, right? And then, with half a squeezed organic lemon in every bottle, the benefits are far ranging, right? It's everything from, vitamin C to, electrolytes. There are cancer fighting polyphenols. You have lemons fight kidney stones, clearer skin. The list, there's tons of immunity benefits here. When you think about, the vitamin C content of lemons, we also fortify Lemon Perfect with additional vitamin C to build a
Yeah,
really nice 100%, daily value in every bottle story. There's just a wide, there's digestive support, research. So the list it just keeps going on, right?
amazing.
And yeah, it's there are basically two fruits that deliver strong benefit without the sugar. One is the lime, and it would be very hard to build a brand around lime water, right? It's not that familiar. And the other citrus is the lemon. And obviously it's a very familiar fruit, especially lemons and water, right? How often do you go to a restaurant and they say, would you like still or sparkling? And then they say, okay, well, would you like a lime with it? Or they just give you or a lemon with it. That is, you start with a point of real familiarity. And we've just basically taken that and made it taste really good and super convenient at the same time.
I love it. And you talked earlier, about the kind of the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. We've had some good times, we've had some like rough times. It's been, darker times. Talk to me about that, because people look at entrepreneurs like yourself or founders of companies, particularly when it comes to health and wellness. And there's a lot of like positivity and happiness around those subjects. So they look at you and they think, oh, he started this company. It must have been always smooth sailing. This must be easy. I mean, look at him. He's winning all the time, But talk to me a little bit about some struggles or moments where it hasn't been easy for the company that, that I think our audience could take away from.
We're winning now. This journey has been unimaginably hard for me. I have had weeks and months where it's been hard getting out of bed. Um, the worst kind of despair. The business has almost run out of cash 3 times over 8 years. Um, and what we've been able to do is just survive in advance and find a way to get out of bed in the morning and just figure it out. Now there have been times when I've been pulled out of bed by my dad because things got so rough. Um, so what you see today, and even what I've been able to communicate publicly, when times were challenging, is very different than what goes on inside my mind. Um, and I certainly don't think I'm alone on this journey of entrepreneurship. And it is really hard. It is really, really hard. Um, and look, we're doing something that has a chance to fundamentally make people healthier.
Yeah.
The beverage landscape is so filled with products that accelerate the dislocation of health in America and beyond. And one of my greatest dreams is to give people a chance to make a healthier decision and have a wonderful taste experience at the same time. And so I think that mission and that want has allowed me to power forward in the times of the greatest despair. And then obviously being there for our people. All of our people have options in Lemon Perfect. All of our people would have a really special financial outcome when we cross the finish line victorious, and we will. Just because, for me, it's really simple. I'm either going to be 6 feet under or walking out of my house with some coins in my pocket, and a lot of them having made people healthier at the same time. So we just are going to refuse to lose. Now, what I'll say is we've had all of our issues have largely been around the supply chain. And I would imagine that for most entrepreneurs, it is usually product related, because if you have product market fit, which we have from day one, we've never had an issue. When our product has been good and we've been able to produce it, this thing has been a rocket ship. All of our issues have been around challenges in our supply chain. I made a decision to go from a 12-ounce bottle to a 15.2-ounce bottle. I thought that it would give us a better chance to win on the shelf and in refrigerated environments, just that physical presence in retail. Our competitive set is all in a significantly larger vessel than a 12-ounce bottle, right? Hint is in a 16, Buys in an 18, Vitamin Water's in a 20. And so I felt like we had to at least get on the field with them from a vessel size perspective. There was a real moment for margin expansion by making the change. And when we did that, we also switched our contract manufacturing partner. But we got caught in between where we were running the 12-ounce product and where we ultimately ran the 15.2 in that transition. And we had to run on an interim make site. And it was not equipped for Lemon Perfect, right? There was no nitrogen dosing. We couldn't put oxygen scavengers or UV blockers into our resin. And we became a hospitable environment for oxidation last year. And our bottles tasted really bad starting last summer. And we couldn't get out of it until the line was ready for us, which was 8 months later. And our business went from, in our revenue from 0 to 46 million in the span of 5 years, and we would have blown past 50. And in the blink of an eye, there was a real moment when we got shut down at our 12-ounce supplier because they were having capacity issues, and they started to prioritize longer-term customers with longer-term obligations. There was a real chance that we were going to zero.
Wow.
Yeah. And, we had a couple $1 million in the bank. Term sheet got ripped up on me when I told our investors that we had nowhere to produce our product. And fortunately, Niagara Bottling, who we signed our long-term deal with, came up with this interim solution, but it was not without challenge. At least we were able to produce bottles, but we also poisoned the well on a lot of consumers that we're now, trying to reacquire with a product that's spectacular, right? We go through the challenges last year and we decide to, because we didn't know exactly what was happening, so we reformulate the product. And then we also changed our packaging and we launched these new bottles, quote unquote, new bottles, last March. And over the last 5 months, the V-shaped recovery in this business has been unbelievable. We're sitting here recording this in August of 25. It will be the best month in company history. And now it looks like September, based on some of the early purchase orders, will beat that number as well. So it's a new day at Lemon Perfect. My psychology has never been better than it is in this moment. I have told investors that the time to invest in Lemon Perfect was on day one or day now. We've never been more excited about our business, but you need to be resilient. Certainly in this Lemon Perfect journey. And we've done it. I've had a great support network. But we've raised a lot of money. I will tell
I
you
want to
that
ask you about that.
yeah.
I want to ask you about that with money, because like you guys have been able to, I mean, you got Beyonce is an
Mm-hmm.
investor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so how do you take something, and for those that are listening to this that like want to do something big, but they're afraid of going to that person or to that company to make the ask. Obviously, there was either a formula here, maybe, I don't know, maybe you're going to tell me it was dumb luck or like just an opportunity that you couldn't refuse or you couldn't turn away from, and you had it. But how does a company get Beyonce to invest?
I I can't get into the specifics of it just because of the terms of our
Totally.
deal with her. But what I will say is I've never made. We have raised over $100 million. We have 410 investors, and I've not made one outbound call. I've been hungry, but we don't solicit Lemon Perfect. We present the opportunity, which we think is a really compelling one. But I will tell you that Beyonce was an organic inbound,
Amazing.
a true fan of the product through one of our investors. But imagine having to go to her team after she invested and tell them about all of these issues that we're having, her and 409 other investors. Um, I take great pride in being transparent, good, great, bad, fucking horrible. And it is a lot harder to write an email in a time of challenge and adversity than it is when you can put yellow face paint on and wave the pom poms. And
Sure.
you got to be able to do both, right? And then you got to be able to take it on the chin. I will tell you that our investors, they there was a moment where I think they would have been just as happy if I told them I'm going back and coaching college basketball. It is what it is. But you have a few people that are very close to me that were in that room that supported me. And at the end of the day, the dislocation in our business was on my shoulders and on my watch. But I'm also very proud of, fighting back and finding a way to get this thing back on track. But we've hired great people, through the dislocation. We go out, we hire a CEO who's done an unbelievable job. My wingman, or I'm his wingman, depending on, how we have a great relationship. It's been unbelievable. And we've got, I will tell you this, we have some loyal people here that have fought through all the storms. We've got people that have been here almost 6 years now that have seen it all. And
Yeah.
you better have some of those people,
Yeah. I believe it,
that
man.
are relentlessly defensive and loyal to you, to the founder. If you don't have that, all hell can break
No,
loose. So we're very, very
absolutely.
fortunate. I'm very fortunate.
Absolutely. I'll tell you this too. I'm really curious to get your take on it because so many people in our audience have personal brands. So many people have corporate brands that they're tied to. You
Mm-hmm.
obviously had a strong brand to be able to. I mean, it was a component. It may not have been the entire thing, with combined with your resilience and everything else and your vision to make it through some of these dark moments. But a brand probably played a big role in that. The brand of Lemon Perfect and what it established. Talk to me about the power of the brand and how owning it, leaning into it was also part of the formula for getting out of these tough waters.
Our brand is unbelievable, man. This trademark is crazy. In terms of the just the power of it and the resiliency of it. Um, I mean, for us to go through what we've went through, you know, we started as a keep refrigerated item in a 12-ounce vessel. We go shelf stable, right? And then we changed the formula. We took erythritol out of the product when we went to the 50.2. Had all those product challenges last year, scared off consumers, had my dearest friends and some of our investors stop drinking the product, right? And here we are, feeling like, my God, we're not going to build $1 billion business. We're going to build one that's much bigger than that. The Lemon Perfect, the trademark, I think one of the most important things is your name. Uh, and we got that right? Like it perfectly describes the product.
Yep.
And just the mark itself is just very powerful. And the concept, right? Like
Mm.
lemon water that tastes good. Anything that is good for you and elevates, your happiness when you drink it, pretty resilient.
Yep.
And we've got that, right? Like, so, and now what I will tell you is if we don't, yes, the power of the mark, but like, if we don't change things last year, I don't know if we're dreaming as big as we are right now, right? So like we went through the darkest of the darkest days to get to this moment of light. And I don't want to, like, it's not like all sunshine, but
No.
light is starting to peak out and it's
Hmm.
getting brighter and brighter by the day.
I love
And
it.
just imagine like how uplifting that is. I mean, you ask our team right now, I'm flying around. Like I am, when I say flying around, not airplanes, like I'm flying around the room, right? Like I'm bouncing off the walls. And,
Yeah.
um, you know, what I will tell you is when the next moment of adversity comes, and it will, I don't think it won't be as big as what we've gone through, but I am so much better equipped to handle it now.
Yeah.
And yeah, it has been one hell of a journey. And
Yeah.
I don't think anyone, unless you're in it, it's just so hard to understand and process. But
No, totally. Entrepreneurship's
yeah,
lonely that way, right? And
very.
it's its own island. It seems glamorous. You watch all the Instagram and the YouTubes and you see people on jets and you think, oh, it's just easy to get there. And I want to do that too. It's not for the faint of heart. I always tell people, for the entrepreneurs and solopreneurs that are listening to this, that are going through really dark moments also of either contemplating quitting, running out of funding, uh, having the market reject them time and time again. Maybe they're in a depression. I mean, all these things are part of it, right? We've all been there. Is there a framework or is there something that you would advise that people need to either have around them, whether it's certain types of people or maybe just a bit of advice you want to leave them with because you've come out of it? And like you said, I mean, you were sharing here some pretty vulnerable stuff here about the company, about how it was really tough and touch and go. But to that solopreneur that's listening, what's your guidance to them that's in a very dark and low spot right now and maybe even contemplating quitting?
Um, I would listen. I would say until there's no money left, keep going. Right, if you really believe in it.
Yeah, you got to
Like if
believe,
you
right?
really believe
Yeah,
in it, like
got to believe.
there are a lot. Look, Arjun, I'll tell you, there are people that start things that do not find product market fit, right, that might pivot one time or two times and still not find it. At a certain point, cut the rope and go figure out what comes next, right? Learn from your experience. But if you believe, like if you believe, keep going. Keep going.
Yeah.
That is what I will tell you, is there are always going to be brighter days ahead. It might get worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
But there's no way that brighter days are not ahead. It's impossible. Right? And if they aren't, well, then you're going to go do the next thing. Great.
Yeah.
What do you know how cool entrepreneurship is? Waking up and being able to be the creator of your own destiny. Creator of your own destiny. There are not many jobs on earth where you can have that. And be able to create your own schedule. Be able to build the network the way that you want. It's unlike anything else. And for me, again, it's a little bit different with consumer products, and especially one like Lemon Perfect, because it's truly a better for you product. I mean, my God, right? If you can't get fired up about that, but generally speaking, people are building things that are making people healthier, happier, more productive, right? And I think that's unbelievable, right? Like, that's unbelievable. I mean, without Steve Jobs, I wouldn't have my iPhone, right? So it's cool to see, how many new products are going to continue to be created. But I just think that you have to have a relentless will to win. You have to have, motor. If at any point you're not waking up and doing a backflip out of bed, you're probably not where you should be, doing what you should be. I think so. Right.
Agreed,
like
man.
The last couple of months, I can't even sleep to my alarm anymore. I'm so excited to get going. That's listen, and sleep is like the most important thing in this thing. But my body has just been waking up. I'm like, let's go get after this thing. Hit the gym and go, I mean, I've been drinking so much lemon perfect. I was in such a dark. I mean, I put like 20. I mean, I was 217 pounds before we put our new bottles out in the world. I'm down to 193 right now. I mean, all I'm doing is drinking lemon perfect. Yeah. Oh, I got a little bit more to go, but the road will beat you up.
Sure.
But
how? Yeah. Let me ask you that because that's important, because a lot of people that listen to this are entrepreneurs or athletes. They're in performance on some level, right? Whether they're performing in the business world, the entrepreneurial space, or as athletes, or as college students, right? That are trying to embark upon some kind of career. How important is your product? Let's focus on it, right? To performance. And what is that connection? Because it obviously is paramount to you with your health journey that you just described and losing all this weight. But how important is it for entrepreneurs to take stock in that? Because I think so many of us get so caught up in our grind, we can easily forget about or let this other stuff kind of fall by the wayside. But how important is that, Yanni?
Well, everything starts with your water intake. So Lemon Perfect is unequivocally, in my opinion, the best way to get your hydration goals met, right? Like, and there's a lot of research that, isotonics, right? Like all those added salts, if you run a marathon, yes, at the point of sweat, maybe, if you just got done, on your Peloton bike, maybe, but like, anytime hydration, you need to hit your goal. So we feel like we're a huge part of that. But, but just generally speaking, I think, all of this, no matter what business you're trying to create, if you don't have your health, none of it matters. None of it matters. Like, great. And so I think it's really important to be able to find time to prioritize how you sleep, how you eat, how you train. I've got some screws to tighten and some work to do there, but it's a priority.
Yeah.
And um, you know, you like I had a dinner. It's Thursday. I had a dinner on Tuesday. I had a dinner last night. I've got an event tonight. I've got another event tomorrow. These are all opportunities to either feel really good when you walk out or feel like you fucked up when you walked out because you had, 3 tequilas on the rocks and hamburgers and, French fries and whatever. And, it just, because a lot of these times, they're social gatherings. So you don't have the 100% ability to control the environment. Like tonight, there's no menu. There are going to be servers with, passing out whatever X, Y, and Z. There's going to be a bar. That's just the mind. That's just your personal mind. And then, but I think it's really important. And I've learned that I need to be on for 16 and I need to be off for 8 every day. So I sleep 7, I train 1, and then I'm on for 16. I put my phone on do not disturb when I'm in the weight room. And then the other thing that I've been doing, and I'm on during these, but the other thing that I've been doing is I have been unequivocally getting 10,000 steps of a walk in every day where I put my headphones on or my AirPods on and I make work calls, or
Yep.
Lemon Perfect calls. So you're knocking out 2 birds with 1 stone on that, right? You're being highly productive. And you're also getting, you're getting your movement in and you're burning calories and you're probably in a zone 2 environment. So but you got to make it important. You got to make it important. And cause like, what the hell? I mean, shoot, you're going to build these products and you're going to maybe, get a payday and then you're going to be, fat and out of like, come on, like this
Yeah, it's not
is
gonna work.
this,
You can't be
no.
the founder of the Atkins diet and die like he did.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
we can't
Yeah.
do that. We can't do that,
Yeah.
man. No, and I
Yeah.
love that you're all about it, Yanni. Listen, man, I mean, with your story, and I know we could have gone so much deeper, but I appreciate you sharing it with the struggles of entrepreneurship, how it's not as glamorous as advertised. It's not for the faint of heart. Even being so honest as to saying, you had to get dragged out of bed some days because you couldn't do, like, you just couldn't physically get out
Mm-hmm.
with whatever was facing you that day. I really appreciate it. But you are the embodiment, man, of LFG energy. That's the whole, this whole show is centered around the energy and the aura that you have, man. Like, it's relentlessness, it's belief in what you're doing, the overall mission, and it's burning the boats and saying, we're going to take the island no matter what. Like, failure isn't an option. We will succeed. You will walk out of the building with coin in your pocket, not being 6 feet underground, as you said, is the alternative. But what is as the last question I asked this, and there's no right or wrong answer to it. I asked this of every guest, and I'm really excited to get your take. What does LFG energy mean to you?
Yeah, relentless motor. That just relentless motor. I think a phrase that we use often is having competitive stamina,
Mm,
and I think look, it LFG it really is about motor and just competitive stamina like that, and be when you're on can bring it at the highest level. That's what I would say. And Arjun, when this podcast opportunity came my way, I was like, I'm in. I saw the name and I said, I'm in. That's like who we are, and so I applaud you for coming up with the best name in podcast history, or at least I would say the most relevant to me and to the build of Lemon Perfect, or the story of Lemon Perfect, because we really have had great energy for what we're doing, what we're building. All of our people are feel that way or are that way,
yeah,
and I will say this: congratulations to you for what you've built. Can't wait to continue to listen and learn from your guests. You're awesome, and I really appreciate you having me on.
I appreciate you too, brother. And go pack, Go lemon perfect. And Pack Guys, by the way, is the mascot for the University of Nevada. Mm-hmm. That's an inside thing here with Yanni and I, since he coached there. But I appreciate you, brother. I'm going to tell, I'm telling all the audience here, guys, continue to follow this story. This company is going to continue to do incredible things. If you listened to Yanni and his energy and his conviction and this overall story, I would not bet against this guy. This whatever he's doing, whatever he's touching, whatever he's carrying, whatever's on his shoulders, he's going to get it across the line, no matter how far ahead it is or what's in front of him. He'll find a way. I can't wait to see how this story continues to unfold. We're all rooting for you, Yanni, and I appreciate you taking time out today to be on the show with us, man. It means a lot.
Thank you so much. You're right. If you bet against me or bet against us, you will lose your money. There is no doubt that you will lose your money. We are winning. It's just a question of how big.
Let's fucking go.